Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth. It is Wednesday. I'm joined by my co-host, Marcus. Joined by our special guest host, who's sleeping right now, Pepita. It's NXT night.
I don't know why you're shaking your head. Today was a fun episode.
I'm mad.
I am happy.
I've been let down so many times. I've been let down so many fucking times.
How did you not see this coming? I've predicted it several times now.
Yeah, well, blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
I've gotten several nuts.
Getting several. It's been a rough week, and it's only Wednesday, and I'm like, I'm just, I'm
Yeah.
men, am I right?
So the news?
Hmm?
The news?
Stripped off a massive hangnail. Yeah, let's get into the news. Jesus Christ. All right. I'm going to start the news by owning up to some mistakes here. Because it's better that I own up to them than Mark calls me out another goddamn time. As we all know, I love Bobby Fish. But Bobby Fish continues to do things that make me a little unsettled. Marcus, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, so Bobby Fish posted on Instagram that he was at an event with Drake Wirtz that was basically a Save the Children. Exactly, Mike, you got it right. He's a Q-nut. These events that Drake Wirtz has been going to and promoting are run by QAnon, and not to say that Bobby Fish is aware or a member of QAnon, but he falls into the same group as like Jackson Riker, and it's no bueno.
It's difficult for me because I get the vibe that again, I don't know the fucking guy. But what I've seen of him as far as like interviews and stuff like that go, he never seemed like a hyper vocal person when it came to like politics.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a Jesus freak.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, since I know where he comes from, and I know so many people that come from the same exact area and all think the same way, I'm not like shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he like turns around, he's like, yeah, chemtrails too, I guess, and the whole Kabbalah or whatever they have going on down there.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be shocked. It's just highly disappointing.
Yeah.
Because I still love him so much.
He posts a lot of Christian stuff on Instagram, not necessarily political stuff. I don't know what he posts on Twitter since I don't follow him.
Nothing. He retweets old clips of matches that he had.
Right. So I don't know. It's unsettling at least.
I really, I don't know. I don't want to think on this too long. I'm still gonna love him until further notice. Until he does something egregious. Because I guess like the hard thing for me is that it's like, if you're an idiot, which my new AirPods, sometimes Siri turns on and I kind of hate it. But if you're not very smart, or not even smart, but just not informed, because we were talking about this, like, I feel like the idea of like somebody being like, hey, want to come to this rally to like stop human trafficking? You'd be like, well, that sounds like a bad thing, so yeah. I'd like to stop human trafficking. So like maybe if you're like not looking into it that hard, but also maybe I'm giving him excuses. So
Yeah, I think we just kind of just let bygones be bygones, not make excuses for him, and just see where things fly.
I'm giving him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. But I
Not
have...
Drake Wirtz though. Drake Wirtz lost that.
Oh, you know, Drake Wirtz is awful.
After that one spray tan, I said, can't be trusted.
Mike said he's an idiot, and that's undisputed. But I have. Speaking of idiots, I have another piece of news.
Oh God. Okay.
So people are accusing Kenny Omega of being homophobic.
Oh dear.
Purely because
Okay.
he squashed Sonny Kiss in a match, and people are accusing him of being homophobic for that.
Okay, did he do anything in the match that would have
No.
caused someone to be like, "Hey, that's homophobic"?
He just won the match and squashed.
I mean, that sounds like a joke I would make, but as a not straight person, it's almost funny when I do it.
Yeah, that's really where that news goes.
I mean, like, the Sonny's pretty vocal about stuff. Like, I feel like if Kenny Omega was homophobic, he would have said something.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole cast of AEW does it seem like they all have Sonny's back, and like if Kenny was doing something or was homophobic in any way, not only would Sonny be vocal, but at least like Cody would be vocal. A lot of other people in that locker room would be vocal as well.
I don't trust Cody.
You don't trust Cody?
Something about that hair.
Oh, I trust Cody with my life.
He looks like too much of a stand-up dude for me. I feel like there's something dark under that exterior. he looks like such a nice guy that I'm always just like,
I mean, have you seen his old WWE stuff?
I know that he got yelled at live on air once. By somebody. I don't remember
who. He was great when he was in WWE. I haven't seen a lot of his AEW stuff, but I'm sure he's only gotten better since then. But that's really where that news piece takes us. Just people making dumb accusations like that for no reason.
I have my own piece of AEW news, but we'll talk about it in a while. Let me start with the least pressing things. Natty wants to fight Beth Phoenix.
Sick.
She said that she would really love to have a match with her, which I personally would be like, wouldn't know how to tell the difference between the two of them during the match, but
real quick, Mike said he missed the first part of the news. People are accusing Kenny Omega of being homophobic for squashing Sonny Kiss. That's basically it.
It's just fucking wild to me, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Natty wants to fight Beth Phoenix. I'd be down for that. God, there's just so many gems tonight. Next thing that I'm going to talk about is Seth has some comments about moving over to SmackDown.
Oh, I read this.
So much like everybody else in the world was praying for, Seth thought that when he was moved to SmackDown, his Rey Mysterio storyline would be over.
Now, I read this, and the way it's worded makes it sound like it might just be kayfabe. Because he says he was looking for a fresh start, and that the Mysterios followed him and won't leave him alone, and it very much sounds like kayfabe.
Right, and if it's part of the same interview, I assume it is. there was some more comments about how he's mad at Daniel Bryan for not joining him and shit like that. But it's still just like one of those comments, whether it's in kayfabe or not. It's like, yeah, we all were kind of fingers crossed on that one, but we're just not getting our wishes, are we?
At the very I don't care if this storyline like continues, as long as it just excludes Aaliyah, please.
Right. But Vince is hot on Aaliyah.
That sounds gross. Don't ever say that again.
Well, it's basically what I read in an article a couple episodes ago, so.
Why can't
if I have to live with that piece of information, so do you.
Why can't it be the Robert Stone Aaliyah? Why does it have to be the Aaliyah Mysterio?
I see you pandering to Mike over there.
Oh yeah. Hey Mike. So,
Good book on my nose.
What?
So okay. Question for you.
Oh boy.
I told you that there's an AEW star right now, and it's not Rusev. I told you that there's an AEW star right now that's not Rusev, who thinks that they should have royalties to their WWE Network matches. Who would you fucking guess it would be?
Brody Lee. Cody.
Imagine.
I mean, Cody wouldn't shock me. But of course it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah. So Chris Jericho thinks that he should have royalty rights to those matches. And usually when I read like these articles that are like, this major star, like in whatever brand, like has said X, Y, and Z, I'm like, I bet it's this person. And it never is. I'm usually wrong. This one I read and I was like, Chris Jericho. And I got into the article, I was like, sweet man. What?
I'm Chris Jericho's just a big mouth.
He's just something else.
I have no ilk towards AEW. In fact, I do want to start watching them. It just conflicts with NXT.
Just John Moxley.
But Chris Jericho is such a big mouth.
He doesn't stop, dude. It's wild to me. It really is.
Yeah.
It's just like one day after another, he's always got something new. And I'm like...
I lost respect for him after he did the whole concert where a ton of COVID cases came out.
It's just, it's very difficult. There we go. Sorry, I had to turn off Siri talking to me. But yeah, that's just something I had to bring in here. I've been trying to limit my AEW news pieces, but I had to. Speaking of people making ridiculous claims, Ethan Carter III, EC3, claims that WWE stole the idea for Raw Underground from him.
Okay. Now, EC3, he memes a lot. He does.
I mean, if this is a meme, it was a massive paragraph of him bitching about it.
He shit talks a lot. And he memes so much. I think the actual, like, Raw Underground actually was kind of like a copy of Bloodsport. I think that's basically what it's supposed to be, because Bloodsport has no ropes or anything. It's very gritty.
I think it's funny to be like, they stole my idea, but like when you realize the idea is like kind of a shitty idea in the first place, it's like, I don't think you need to be laying claim to that, dude.
I think
like there are so many other things.
Yeah, I think that makes it kind of more of a meme, just like because it's so bad.
Oh, wait, let's see. I may have bookmarked the article. Okay, yeah. So let me read you what he's... Okay. Let me read you part of what he said because it is, if you can tell, you probably can't because it's so bright.
Oh.
You can see all of this here.
Yeah.
That's his quote.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to read part of it. I'm not going to read all of it. He said, I knew it was going to be stolen, so I was prepared for it. I didn't know it would go to that length, and I know mine, his idea, played to a minor bubble of the professional wrestling audience, while the majority of it saw whatever the hell they put out there. The way I look at it is kind of like I was Wayne's World. I was producing the show in Aurora, my basement with my buddy Garth. We'll call him JC in this instance. And then Rob Lowe came in, bought us, and when I saw Shane McMahon in the ring, not in a real underground, mine was a real underground. This manufactured, heartless, desolate studio, I'm looking at Shane, and it felt like when Noah was rapping on Wayne's World after they brought him out, or after they bought him out. It was just inauthentic, and like I said, it had no heart, so I knew something would have been taken from it. I didn't expect the whole aesthetic, and while it upset my friend JC, who I worked very hard on it with, at the same time, it's just a challenge to do something different, better next time, which I definitely plan on doing, because again, control your narrative. Again, Ring of Honor provides freedom. I'm not tied to doing just that. There's things I want to do in the future and continue that narrative as sort of supplemental content to whatever other places I'm doing things in, and I have bold, ambitious views for it. We'll see if it works out. I think it will. None of that made sense, by the way.
He never makes sense.
I stumbled over maybe 2 words. That whole paragraph was just a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But,
mm-hmm.
Anyways, my final piece of news for tonight is in lieu of the fact that WWE is not going to be punished, it looks like, for their coronavirus violations, which, you know, that's fine. It's Florida. What do you expect? But in lieu of that, instead of there only being 30 to 40 confirmed COVID cases as they had originally reported, in the WWE, there was about 150 confirmed positives. That's like 3 times what they originally reported, if not more.
That's insane.
And somehow they're still passing with flying colors. They're not going to be punished at all for the fact that they're a goddamn mess.
Meanwhile, there's people in the NXT crowd with their masks not covering their noses. And children in the crowds.
Triple H straight up said, nah, they're rookies. It's fine.
Oh, God. All right.
Anyway,
so,
would you like to get on to the matches?
Yeah.
Right. Let's get on to the matches. Pete's. You doing anything, Pete's? And we'll do this, do that, and we'll do this.
There you go. You got it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, no. There you go. There. Oh, maybe too far. Maybe. Yep, too far. And, still a little crooked, but it's fine. Just leave it. Just, yeah. Yep, all the way up. Just tilt it all the way up. High as it can go.
Fuck you. Don't hurt my feelings like this. Okay. Here we are. Hi. Alright.
So.
We start tonight immediately. What?
Oh, keep going.
I thought you made a noise. We go into tonight just immediately smack dab in the middle of Kushida versus Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso immediately attacks Velveteen Dream. Kushida then punches Velveteen Dream the moment he gets into the ring. Tommaso throws Dream from the ring before attacking Kushida. Kushida does his little handspring against the ropes, knocking the re-emerging Velveteen Dream off the apron. I loved it. Tommaso then throws Dream into the barricade, goes after Kushida, does the same thing to him, gets back to Dream, throws him into the announce desk, and then back into the barricade. Then he does a running high knee to Kushida and a running high knee to Velveteen Dream. He has equal opportunity here. You know, balanced. It's fair. Tommaso is then standing on Dream's stupid-ass fucking broken hand or whatever. Kushida comes in. He ends up throwing Tommaso into Velveteen. Tommaso goes for the Widow's Bell, rather. But Velveteen Dream grabs Kushida. Tommaso... Sorry. Let me try that again. Tommaso goes for the Widow's Bell on Kushida. Dream comes up on the opposite side, on the apron, grabs Kushida by the waist. Tommaso says that's not going to be a problem at all, and then does the Widow's Belt to both of them. Tommaso then begins stomping Kushida in the corner. He goes to Velveteen, begins targeting his wrist again. There's a hip attack to Tommaso in the corner from Kushida. Kushida is then looking for the armbar, but Tommaso will not let go of the ropes. Then Kushida suplexes Dream. There's a Panama Sunrise to Tommaso from Kushida, but Tommaso gets up pretty much right afterwards. Velveteen Dream looks like he's trying to capitalize on the two men fighting. He punches Kushida in the spine and then slugs Tommaso. And then Tommaso says, "Welcome to Tommaso begins chopping the absolute piss out of Dream and Kushida. He goes for another chop on Kushida, but Kushida catches his arm. Then there's another handspring off the ropes. This time he is caught by Velveteen. Okay. So he's caught by Velveteen and Tommaso at the same time. Looks like they're trying to suplex him together, but Kushida ends up punching Tommaso in the nose and then goes after Dream, but he's caught. Then we get the Dream Valley Driver to Kushida. Tommaso and Kushida are fighting while Dream is passed out on the goddamn ground outside the ring. Kushida gets tossed from the ring, and the moment his body makes contact with the ground near Velveteen, he immediately goes into the armbar. Dream tries to tap out, but they're ringside, so it doesn't count. Tommaso gets tired of the two of them fighting outside the ring. He tries to break it up. Kushida throws Tommaso into the barricade before taking control and trying to break Tommaso's elbow. Then we get a hip toss into an armbar to Tommaso from Kushida. A purple rainmaker to Kushida. Tommaso breaks the cover by punching Velveteen Dream very, very, very gently on the back. Just like a little tap. Tommaso's going for the fairy tale ending, but Dream breaks out of it and nearly super kicks the ref. Then there's a super kick to Tommaso from Dream, a Dream Valley Driver to Kushida, or to Tommaso. Kushida breaks the cover. Dream starts shit talking, and Tommaso just punches him, which is my dream. Tommaso then super kicks Velveteen. Kushida goes over the top rope onto Velveteen, and Kushida gets back into the ring, goes over the top rope onto Tommaso, gets back in the ring, goes over the top rope once again onto Velveteen, just for fun. He tries to go back up into the ring, but then there's immediately a Widow's Bell to Kushida as he kind of celebrates. Tommaso once again goes for the fairy tale ending, and once again gets fucked over. Dream super kicks Tommaso. He tries to do the Dream Valley Driver to Kushida, but Kushida gets a crucifix hold on him. Tommaso breaks it all up, tries to roll up Kushida. Kushida kicks him off into Dream, who knocks Tommaso with his cast. And then there's a German suplex to Tommaso from Kushida for Kushida to win. Yeehaw.
I'm loving when NXT just dives us into whatever match we're up to.
They don't wait. They're just like, here you go.
Yeah. And Kushida looked amazing. Tommaso looked amazing. And that's it.
I mean, again, the Dream Valley Driver is still a pretty cool move.
It is. Wish it was someone else doing it, though.
I know. It also does look like it's like you're driving your head into somebody's abdomen, though.
Yeah.
Like, who is this hurting?
And then after that, we had a promo with the Undisputed Era Boys, with Adam Cole calling in from a tablet. Yeah.
Can I say something? Do you remember the episode of Bob's Burgers where Tina stops going to school and instead like goes to school as like this like robot? That is immediately where my brain went. That's like immediately my brain was like, Tina.
Oh. But yeah,
all I could think of.
Adam Cole's calling in on a tablet from what looked like a hospital. And he said, Adam Cole said, I may not be cleared to wrestle yet, but my boys are gonna take down Breezango. They're an incredible team, but they're not Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. And the whole time, Bobby Fish is standing there and going, and you just hear it ever so slightly. All be
picked up.
Yeah. And when they do their little hand logo at the end, you just hear Roddy go. Pew.
Also, I don't know if you caught this, but Roddy's exact words for describing himself and Bobby as a tag team was the Roddy and Bobby Express Choo Choo Baby. And I nearly fell out of my fucking skin.
Oh, God.
I love them. I know I'm not allowed to love Bobby right now, but I do. I'm sorry. Anyways, I was so excited. I was so excited.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay. We'll get it another time. So what's next?
Yeah, and Bobby's not 44.
So what's next?
I mean, we'll get... Yeah. So we have, for some reason, Jessi Kamea versus Ember Moon. Actually, Mark, you were confused about this. I was not. It makes sense. This is usually what they do. They bring somebody back, put them in a big match to start, and then immediately they're like, oh, I don't know what the fuck to do with you. Enhancement talent?
I don't know, because she was put in that tag team match with, like, the biggest girls of NXT right now. You would think that she'd get something more besides Jessi Kamea, and it not be a squash.
I mean, but this is, like, what they did with, like, I think they did this with Tommaso when he first came back. They had him in, like, oh, no, that was enhancement talent. I mean, it was Jake Atlas, but it was enhancement talent.
Yeah.
But they do this a lot. A lot of times they'll be like, oh, look at this. This person's back in a big way. And then they're like, well, we really don't know how to, like, shove you into a storyline 5 seconds before our sort of kind of pay-per-view. So let's remind everyone that you're still here, that you can still fight before we can throw you in. Because I'm sure that they're going to have her going after the title.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't do that right now. They've got so many people vying for that fucking title that just throwing Ember in there, it's like... However, Jessi Kamea, the first female ex-Retribution member, versus Ember Moon. I caught on to this match probably 5 seconds after it started, and the first thing I fucking see is Ember Moon tripping Jessi Kamea as Jessi, like, half-speed tiptoes towards Ember and then flails to the ground. I was like... Alright. The setup should not take longer than the actual move.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me. Jessi then slams Ember into the canvas. Ember is then tripped by Jessi. And she cartwheels all the way down to the ground. Then there's a drop kick to Jessi, a kick to the midsection, and then a kick to the shoulder, a standing moonsault onto Jessi, and then a crossface. Ember just kind of starts soccer kicking Kamea for like a little while, like just kind of kicking her around the ring. She gets her into a submission hold, a modified half Boston Crab. And then Jessi breaks free by launching Kamea. Yep, that's my fucking notes. Jessi breaks free by launching Ember into the buckles. Ember goes for the senton, but Kamea rolls away, sending Ember Moon straight down onto her tailbone. And then Kamea, like, sort of does, like, the Superman punch, but I'm pretty sure she just slapped Ember Moon, which was very confusing. And then a spinning heel kick, which actually looked really fucking sick. She went off the rope onto Ember. And this was around the time where, like, I was like, oh my god, Jessi kind of, like, looks decent. Like, better than I expected, at least. But then there's a jawbreaker to Kamea. A leg submission hold with a crossface as Ember pulls her up by her braids, which I was not a fan of. Manages to get Jessi to tap. And as we're all having a good time, we're like, oh, Ember Moon won, yay, yay. Dakota Kai comes in, attacks Ember, takes her legs out from under her, pulling her down to the canvas, and then punches her in the face and screams something along the lines of, like, you're never going to get the title because I'm going to get it.
Dakota, the master of coming in at the end of the match.
Dakota loves the poppin'.
She does. And so does Raquel, apparently.
All right.
After that, we had a little injury report. Bobby Fish is down. He's fallen and he can't get up. Somebody call Life Alert.
He's pretty fucking old.
The man looks like the oldest man in wrestling, but I know he's not.
He is decently old, though.
I know, but For
being an active wrestler.
He looks the oldest.
He looks, and maybe I'm just, like, biased here because he's a very religious man. He looks like especially when he wears his fucking glasses, he looks like the quintessential youth group pastor. Like, in a way that I have never seen it pinpointed so well. I'm just like, okay, sure, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, basically Bobby Fish is just down in the ground. And not looking too hot.
So before we went into everything that we went into later tonight, I genuinely saw this and I thought, oh, Bobby must have, like, hurt himself, like, practicing or something. And this is just their way of being like, okay, Bobby can't fight tonight, so it's gonna be Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
But no. It just got weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. Anyways. Triple question mark versus Bronson Reed. Or as I like to call it, part 2 of Dolph Ziggler versus Goldberg.
Oh.
So, I'll be honest. I started writing the tweet to promote the show in the beginning of this. But there was a dropkick to Bronson Reed. Reed goes to do something along the lines of a Samoan drop to Austin Theory, but Theory wiggles free. He gets a crossface on the big man. Reed powers up and out by punching Theory in the midsection and then whipping him into the ropes. Then there's a power slam and a senton to Austin, and Reed gets to the top rope. Austin punches Bronson to slow his climb, but Bronson punches him right back. And then frog splashes the tiny man. And then, as Bronson's like, hell yeah, I won, time to go take a shower. Austin Theory gets the mic and says, no, I'm a baby, and I'm better than you. And I run this fucking brand, basically. Come back here and fight me. Again. And Bronson's like, do you really want to do this again? Austin's like, hell yeah, brother, ring the bell. And they ring the bell. Reed tosses Austin Theory into the air before connecting that with a Samoan drop. Just to murder him one last time, I guess.
That was a sick Samoan drop.
It was awesome. He, like, literally tossed him up and grabbed him and then went down. I was like, how do you grab a man? I can't even throw a ball in the air and catch it. But a whole-ass man? Or whatever you want to call Austin Theory?
Enigma.
A whole-ass humanoid life form? Wild.
After that, we had an interview with Xia Li and Kacy Catanzaro. And long story short,
Are we ever gonna get a real answer?
Xia just says that this is the most important match of her life and that she had to win. Who knows why? Because this whole storyline is just kept really vague for some reason. I think they're waiting for her kickboxing match so they could decide whether or not she's going to stay in WWE or not. I think that's the storyline.
Why was Boa a part of it?
To make him seem like an authority that would take her away from WWE if she loses.
It's just I genuinely feel like I missed like 5 seconds of like an episode prior to today. Because it's just constantly like Zia's like, I need this match, and Casey's like, I know you need this match. And then the announcers are like, she really needs to win this match. And I'm like, why? Why?
And Casey's like,
I don't know.
Casey's like, heh. Yeah, right.
Casey's like, yeah, I know you really wanted to have this match, and I'm going to destroy you.
I know you need this match for me to win.
And I said, hell yeah, Casey.
But then after that, we had a little interview with Mr. AT, Austin T. Austin
God
Theory.
stepped in.
Mr. Austin, Texas. And he's walking to his car with a suitcase, and he tells the camera, hey, I quit. I can't do this anymore. Dude
also
sucks.
Leaves in the same exact white Jeep Grand Cherokee that Tommaso left in when he quit.
They carpool.
I love that. It's funny too because I was like saying to you, I was like, I wonder if Austin Theory's quitting, and then he's like, you know what? I quit, and I was like, fuck yeah! I wrote the script.
Now if they can just do the same to Dream.
I mean, he's had just as many losses as of lately, so.
Oh,
all
man.
right. You ever just see a match so many times that you just want to claw your eyes out and every time it comes on?
Yeah, let's go into this match that I legit did not care about in the slightest.
Oh, it was so hard for me to take notes on this dude. I want to have like the optimism that Sean Ross Sapp has, because Sean Ross Sapp was tweeting about it and he was like, this is gonna be really exciting, like this is gonna be a really good match, and I was like, is it though? I don't know, man. Anyways, we had Team Swerve, which was Ashante, the Adonis, Swerve, and Jake Atlas versus Legado.
It's actually just Ashante Adonis now. He dropped the V.
Alright. Sure. Either way. Swerve. So basically, we got all 3 men in the ring or we got all 6 men, I guess. All 6 men in the ring. All 6 men. And immediately there's a huge kerfuffle between the 6. And we focus mostly on Swerve attacking Santos outside the ring, while Jake Atlas and Joaquin Wilde are inside the ring fighting where they're supposed to be fighting. We don't actually move on to that shot for a solid minute. But anyways, once we finally get to what's actually supposed to be happening, Jake Atlas and Joaquin Wilde are together. There's a takedown and a kick to the spine of Wilde. Adonis gets tagged in. He suplexes Wilde. They talk about how somebody has been to Afghanistan. I believe it is Ashante. I think they were saying that he is a veteran.
I think
but I don't think it was Jake Atlas.
Let me search that.
It was just the way that they were talking. It sounded like it had to be Ashante.
Yes, he is. Here's a picture on his Instagram of him in the military. 2010.
How old is he? Looks like a bab.
Let me Google that. Ashante Ashante Adonis. He is... I cannot find his age anywhere. Ashante Adonis. Nothing on his Wikipedia. Age.
Fine.
Okay. That is not Ashante Adonis. That is Adrian Adonis, who died.
He's got to be at least 28.
I mean, I would assume, but literally nowhere.
You've got to be 18 to join the military.
Yeah. I don't know. Nowhere
Wild.
says his age.
Alright. Well, thanks for your service, Ashante. Not pro-war, but thank you. So Jake Atlas gets in. There's a suplex to Wild, and actually, mind you, there's 3 back-to-back suplexes to Joaquin Wild. They were not back-to-back suplexes, but like they were 1, 2, 3 back-to-back suplexes. Get it? It's funny.
Sorry, I'm on his page on cagematch.net, and I didn't realize Ashante Adonis is Tahuti Miles.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
You didn't?
No.
We've talked about this.
Have we?
Yes. When they trademarked Ashante's name.
Oh, okay. Huh. Wild.
I already said that once, and then I thought about Joaquin Wild, and I was like, heh. Anyways, Jake Atlas then kicks Santos in the face on the top rope and takes down both Wild and Mendoza while jumping off said rope. Ashante gets in. He fakes out the men instead of diving out onto them. And while he fakes them out and kind of shit talks them because he faked them out, Swerve is aided by Mr. Jake Atlas as he dives out of the ring, and oh my dear Christ, Swerve landed on nobody besides his goddamn hip bone. Like,
tailbone.
There was somehow a perfect... No, he landed on like his side.
Oh.
Yeah. There was somehow like a perfect gap between the 3 men that he 100% just slid right down into, and I was like, they had to move to get under him.
Santos tried to catch him, but he couldn't.
Swerve stood up so quickly, I was like, that's a broken man. Oh no. I've just witnessed a murder. But then Ashante is against Wild. He's slammed into the corner. Santos gets in. Santos tags him Mendoza. Then all 3 men are fighting Ashante. Swerve breaks up a cover on Adonis, and then there's an arm sub on Ashante. Wild gets in. Atlas begins clubbing all 3 of the Legado fellas. After he causes as much damage as he possibly can in one 30-second interval, he tags in Swerve, who does not get in fast enough for Jake Atlas to avoid a jumping leg lariat to Atlas from Santos. Once Swerve is in, though, he is all over Santos like white on rice. Mendoza gets in, and then there's a backdrop to the man from Swerve. Swerve gets up on the apron. There's a jumping kick to the face, and Mendoza takes Atlas off of the apron. Mendoza then pulls Swerve face first into the side of the apron. And then, the weirdest shit that happened, I think, in this match, which was Atlas was then standing on the side of the apron. Mendoza was running out to fly onto him.
Mm-hmm.
Atlas caught him, and then I guess Mendoza turned it into the Spanish Fly, landing on literally every single man that was in that match tonight. And there's only just so much space between the ring and the announce desk. Okay, so I'm either smoking crack, or I just saw a ghost. Happy Halloween. I just saw a weird glimmer go up past the side of my laptop.
Could also be the reflection of your earrings or the AirPods.
Nope. There's nothing over in this corner that would reflect anything that's going on.
All right. Sick.
Calling Zach Bagans tomorrow.
I've been training ghost hunting and phasmophobia, so.
I would not last a second. I watched Mark play it for like 5 seconds on like the easy level, and I was spooked. A light flickered, and I said, "I'm done." Anyways, but there's only so much space between the announce desk and the ring, and when there's 5 men being dove out onto by another man, it's like somebody's gonna crack their skull open.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve then, however, grabs Mendoza. There's a half Nelson on Mendoza into God only knows what. I don't even like Mendoza somehow like threw Swerve, but it didn't look like it made any goddamn sense whatsoever. It was the most discordant shit I've ever seen. And I've watched enough Dana Brooke matches to know what discordant shit looks like. But then there's a powerbomb to Mendoza from Swerve. The cover is broken by Joaquin Wilde. Mendoza head scissors Adonis into Swerve. Santos gets in, dives through the ropes onto Swerve. Then there's a cartwheel DDT to Santos from Atlas, which was actually quite cool. I believe that was off the announce desk, if I'm not mistaken. I do love when people add cartwheels into like regular ass moves, because I'm just like, there's no need for that. But it was fancy. Good job. Except for Dana Brooke. Once again, stop. She loves her fucking cartwheels.
She does.
Anyways. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Mendoza then chokes out Adonis. Wilde gets in. He kicks the entire nose off of Ashante. And Wilde gets the win for Legado. Because, my God, if Swerve wins one single fucking match, I think the world will implode.
Yep. I think...
Take us... Oh, alright. If you want... Go on.
I was just going to say, I think Santos has only gotten 2 losses this year. At all.
I'm just tired. I'm really tired of this. I don't want to be, but...
But after that, we had Home with the Garganos. Huh? We had what?
I said, take us to better places.
Oh, yeah. And this is definitely a better place. Johnny and Candace at home, practicing with a training wheel. And Johnny and Candace spin it to practice spinning the wheel because Johnny hates wheels. Hates them so much. His car doesn't have wheels. They have squares.
Car. It's a Flintstone car. He just walks.
And so Johnny spins it, gets the buried alive match. Candace spins it, gets the street fight, which she's happy about because she's undefeated in street fights.
Johnny doesn't want to be buried alive.
And then Johnny spins it again, gets the casket match, which he then gets upset and walks away because he realizes that the wheel wants him dead.
And as he's walking away, he screams, "Get rid of it!"
And
Johnny.
I was hoping we'd get the wheel spinning tonight. I thought it would be like tonight, spin the wheel to know what we're gonna get for next week, and then I didn't think they were gonna do the wheel the same day as the matches, because at least if you do it a week before, it says, hey, there's a wheel, there's a chance it could be something, who knows? But if you do it the day of, it's very clear, like, alright, we're spinning the wheel, we know what's gonna be because we manipulated it, we already prepared for it, and here it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to do a buried alive match last second because that requires a location, that requires, like, very special preparation. I don't know what a Devil's Playground match is, but I assume that requires a lot of preparation. Like, at least be a little more, like try and hide it a little more.
Real quick, before we jump into anything else, are we going to do predictions for Halloween Havoc? I know it's not a pay-per-view, but...
Let's do it.
Okay. Because there's a lot of titles up for grabs, and Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, I mean, the matches are announced beforehand, so we can predict it.
Okay.
And speaking of predictions, tune in Friday for our predictions for Hell in a Cell. Yeah, that's coming up. Wow, that did not register on Discord at all.
That's because I muted myself.
Oh, okay. I just heard you through the wall. All right,
I
so
forgot that HEAC is coming up.
do you
Oh, we
want
had
to
time. I thought we had time.
jump us into Everrise? Everrice?
I would love to. All right. Drake and Killian versus Everrise. If there is one thing I will get behind, it is Drake, Maverick, and Killian and Dain fighting together. It does not get old. So we start off with Hot Rise versus Drake. Immediately he tags in Pony Rise, who kicks Maverick in the stomach. Then there's a backbreaker into a running knee from Mr. Hot Rise. Hot Rise gets in officially, punches Drake. Pony Rise gets in, slams Drake into the corner. Hot Rise gets in, Pony Rise trips Drake, and then there's a kick from Hot Rise. Killian Dain is mad at this point. While Drake is being carried over one of their shoulders. I don't really fucking remember who. Killian tags in on Drake's outstretched hand. And just forearms after forearms after forearms to both of the Everrise guys. Then there's a crossbody to Mr. Hot Rise. Pony Rise gets onto his back, and they're just kind of trying to take Killian's legs out because that's all they can really fucking do. That's, I guess, like his... I know there was a video game where it was like you had to fight like these like Goliaths.
Like Guardians.
It would like tell
something?
you where like maybe because like it would tell you where like their like weak spots were.
No.
I think it was a video game where like you have like a massive like jungle cat or something as like your friend.
Oh, like the giant wolf.
Yeah,
I forget the name of that. It's Guardian something. I've never played it either, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But that's what it felt like. Then there's a single leg crab on Killian while Pony Rise screams at Drake Maverick. And my dude yells a lot for being an ugly ass motherfucker. Just telling Drake that like Killian's also a talentless hack, just like you, and he's not your friend, and no one likes you, and no one likes him. And I was like, well, that's a perfect reason for them to be friends then. If no one likes either of them.
Yeah.
My opinion. That's how I've made most of my friends. Drake then Drake gets mad. He slugs Pony Rise before he is launched into the Timekeeper's area, which does not affect Drake at all. He ends up grabbing a chair and starts attacking the Canadians to protect Killian because he loves Killian and Killian does not mind him, I guess, as much as he used to. Drake immediately shoves the chair into Pony Rise's stomach. And the referee looks at him and she's like, all right, whatever. And then he gets in the ring with the chair and she's like, oh no, DQ. But then there's just a million chair shots. Everrise wins because of the DQ. And Killian gets up and he's like, pissed? Maybe? And immediately he's like, holy shit! That was awesome. Where did that come from? Why have you never done that before? That was great. And I died. I love this friendship. This friendship means more to me than like a lot of friendships in the entire WWE.
Mm-hmm. And then Drake Maverick still danced in the ring.
The song came on and he was like, I'm rejuvenated. And Killian still walked out, but Killian looked like he was tolerating the music a little more this time.
I think Drake Maverick tweeted something along the lines of, I'm not normally like this.
What? Mr. Spud?
But then we get backstage, and Roddy is dead. Roddy is on the floor, passed out in a doorway. And we go to commercial, come back, and we've got Oney and Danny, Breezango, Kyle and William Regal. And Regal's like, Kyle, you gotta fight in the match. What are you gonna do? Kyle said, I can't fight. I can't. And then Oney and Danny says, no, you gotta fight. You earn this. And then Oney offered to be his partner for it, which, that was great.
Oni Bony Bananagrams. The last time I'm ever gonna love you.
And then Kyle just gave a last, no, I can't do this. Walks out, and then William Regal says that the match is going to be Breezango versus Oney and Danny, and then follows Kyle into the stairwell, walking over Roddy's dead corpse. And then we cut back to the ring, where we have Xia and Kacy. Whenever you're ready. Waiting on you.
A revelation.
Oh boy. What's that?
I don't like the revelation. I'll tell you when the time comes.
Okay.
Anyways. Xia Li versus Casey Canzaro. In the match that Xia Li really needs to win. Why? We don't know. Kacy jumps over Xia and then drop kicks her. And does just a million other things. And I was like, Kacy, how do you do it? She did the fucking thing where, like, she just uses her own personal strength to propel herself into, like, a moonsault. It's not even, like, a standing moonsault, because it doesn't even look like she starts standing. It's just, like, she suddenly is in the air, and then she's on top of you. It's like, okay, I get it. I'll never be you. That's fine. Xia Li retaliates by trying to tie Kacy's hair against the ropes. I hate when I see that shit. It makes me so uncomfortable. Then there's a hip toss to Kacy, volley of punches to Kacy, but it's not quite enough. Canzaro then just starts fucking murdering Xia Li. She cannonballs onto Xia and wins. And as the referee is holding her hand up to be like, aha, Kacy Catanzaro, she wins. Xia Li just pops up and is like, nope, and attacks Kacy, and then Kaden. And then Raquel comes in and attacks Xia, and then Kacy, and then Kaden. And I was like, you're not part of this. This wasn't your... These aren't your competitors. They're not going after that title.
Well, no, because she said that's what awaited Rhea Ripley at Halloween Havoc. So she's just making a statement.
She fought people that are half the size of Rhea Ripley.
I'm glad Raquel and Dakota are kind of doing the same thing. Making the same statement. And yeah. So after that
coordinated.
we...
I said coordinated, but
sure.
Please continue. I'm so excited to talk about this.
So we have Cameron Grimes interviewed backstage. So Cameron Grimes was aware that he was fighting Dexter Lumis. But it was revealed to him that it would be a Haunted House of Terrors match, which I am so excited for. The last Haunted House of Terrors match that we saw that was on WWE was featuring Bray Wyatt. And apparently it was bad, but I'm excited. I think Dexter Lumis is the perfect person to have this kind of match with. Just imagining him lurking in the background and just being a creep in a haunted house. Cameron Grimes with the piss scared out of him. It's going to be great. I am willing to predict, and we can attach this to my predictions when we make them on Monday, that we will see somebody get smashed through a wall. I can guarantee it.
All right, I'll remember this, as I often do. You're missing the most important part of this program.
Oh no, I wasn't finished.
Okay, sorry.
So Dexter Lumis pops his head out in the background and just stares both Mackenzie and Cameron down through the glass door. Just stares at them and lurks the whole time. And while that's happening, Cameron Grimes is just like, "That's no problem. I'm still gonna go to the moon." Oh, and walks away.
While Dexter just remains there, though. Like, I get it, Dexter. You're trying to scare Cameron. You don't need to lurk while Mackenzie's still around. You can't see him anymore.
Oh, um, but after that, we have the special live version of Tim Tam Thatchy Thatch's Unsanctioned Murder Time, done in the Performance Center ring.
May I propose a name change to this real quick?
Sure.
Because this is more so Tim Tam Thatchy Thatch's unsanctioned matchy match.
Well, this was sanctioned. The match was sanctioned. Because they had the bell ring and everything. There's a ref. If it was unsanctioned, there wouldn't be a ref.
If it's Tim Tam's, it's always unsanctioned. Thank you.
Even that title match with Damian Priest.
Unsanctioned.
But Tim Tam gets in the ring with Anthony Greene, who he calls Andrew and then Alex. And the crowd...
I think you just called him Alex.
No. Tim Tam also called him Alex.
God damn it, Timothy!
And also, when this turns into a match, the crowd also chants Andrew. But they're doing some practice stuff, and then Tim Tam goes a little hard with the arm lock behind Anthony's back. And Anthony got angrier and angrier, and when Tim Tam told him to go for his hand or something, Anthony went for his legs and threw Tim Tam's off a bit. But Thatchy Thatch said, "Oh, bet," and then called a ref in, and then we have a match.
A matchy match. Thank you.
A matchy match.
Will I be commentating on this one, or are you going to?
No, you can talk about this one.
Okay, I've got two notes. So Timothy just kind of starts out, basically as the bell's ringing, with an elbow straight into Mr. Andrew Anthony Alex's head.
Triple A.
Triple A. And then he slugs him right across the fucking face. I don't know how Timothy does these moves without pulling his punches, because it does not look like he ever pulls a goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
It 100% looks like he socks this man in the face. He gets the man down, he grabs his fucking ankle, and we're in single leg Boston Crab territory, baby. It's over. And once he has that locked in, the man taps, and Timothy says, "Haha, but have you learned your lesson yet?" And sits down with the leg. And I said, "Timmy, I love you."
Oh man, Tim Tams.
My hero.
So after that, we get a little vignette with Damian Priest.
Oh god, I didn't even take a note on this one.
It talks about the great Johnny Wrestling, which I miss Johnny Wrestling. I miss the Johnny Wrestling that was fighting Swerve and Roddy from just a couple months ago. But he just says he's talking shit, and he says that he's better than Johnny. Johnny hasn't changed, stuff like that. And that's basically it. And then we're on to the main event today.
Okay. Sorry, Alright. Breezango versus Oni Boni Bananagrams and Danny Banani. So, let me just put out a point here. before we get into this fully, sometimes NXT, as much as I love their storylines for the most part, sometimes NXT does some shit where they really play out a storyline for a while and they don't give away too much. And that's awesome. Because it makes me like, it gives us as fans room to be like, to speculate, like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe this is how this plays into this. And that's fun. I really enjoy doing that. And during this match today, I started getting frustrated because I was like, we have now gone from Adam Cole getting dumped ringside by Ridge Holland to everyone in Undisputed Era being injured by somebody besides Kyle. And Oney and Danny are benefiting from it. Like, it was very weird. But anyways.
Well, we'll talk more about it after.
Once I'm done talking about the match itself and what happens in the match, I want 1 second to speculate, and then you can give me what you think.
Okay.
So we start out with Oni versus Fandango, and with me knocking over the sign. Ma'am. There's an arm drag to Fandango, then a headlock on Oni. Oni breaks free and tosses Fandango, and immediately is caught up into another headlock. He powers free again and is clotheslined by Fandango, who then goes to chop Oni's chest up a bit. Oni goes for the single crab, but Fandango quickly grabs the rope. Oni manages to tag Danny in. They do their little team chops to Fandango. Then Breeze gets in. Danny just starts slugging the poor kid. And I believe you pointed this out. Wade Barrett said that Tyler Breeze is a pit bull with a pretty face. Which, honestly, yeah, I kind of see it. Mm-hmm. I kind of get it. Danny then launches Breeze into the barricade. Breeze slams Danny's knee into the post. Danny then gets Oni in against Fandango. There's a cover on Fandango. It's not successful. Danny gets in off of that. Immediately, Fandango manages to toss all the men from the ring. Oni starts attacking Breeze. There's a dropkick as Oni tries to fly out of the ring. Danny then throws Breeze over the barricade, and Breeze genuinely goes fucking flying. Like, it wasn't just like an unloading. It was Breeze is in the air over this like limited amount of space. Fandango's belt is undone at this point also, and his pants look like they're falling down. I thought he was going to go to fix it because he was off camera for a hot second. Never did. Pants were not fixed at any point. There's a leg drop onto Danny from Fandango. Oni single crabs Breeze, and
what?
I wrote, Oni single crab on Breeze. Drake is mad. Danny covers, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Danny was mad at Oni for being in the ring also. Or, no, not Danny.
Drake was mad. No.
Yeah, Drake was mad at Oni for being in the ring as well and doing the Boston Crab.
Right. When I wrote that note, too, I said to myself, I was like, you're going to forget what this fucking means. But I kept it in. So yeah, Oni is not the legal man. He has a single crab on Breeze. Drake Woods is like, Oni, get the fuck out of the ring. And I didn't understand why, because I did not see the tag. I did not understand why Drake was like, get off of him. I was like, no, that's his job. He's supposed to be doing this. But Danny sort of like just kind of like lays on top of Breeze while this is happening. Fandango breaks it all up. Then there is a left knee bend onto Danny several times from Fandango. Breeze is on the top rope, and Danny wiggles the rope just enough for Breeze to go crotch first into the buckle, and then sends Breeze face first into the canvas. Fandango takes out Oni and breaks up the cover. There's a team super kick to Danny, and then a team super kick to Oni. My notes were all over the place for this because I was very confused and getting very frustrated. But Fandango goes up to the top rope. He's about to do his finisher. We have like 2 minutes left. And I was like, okay, makes sense. Why would Danny and Oney get this title if all of a sudden they're just being put into this position? No big deal. Somebody in a weird-ass silver mask pushes Fandango off the top rope. And this takes Fandango down and out of the ring, throwing him down to ringside. This also then allows Danny and Oney to win because they're fighting the tired-ass fucking Breeze. He's easy to pin. They get the titles. Now, Masked Man, he's got his little silver mask on, he's got his hood over his head, and I can kind of tell he's blonde because his hood came off a little bit during the push on Fandango.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Pat McAfee? But then we get close up, and I'm seeing his, like, kind of chubby face and his gray in his beard, and I was like, Pat didn't have gray in his beard, so who the fuck is this? And he's acting all friendly with Danny and Oney. I was like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense, because Pat wasn't best friends with Danny and Oney at any point. But no, it is Pat McAfee. So, Pat McAfee has apparently been the saboteur of Undisputed Era, and the saboteur of Breezango. Which is where I come in with my speculations.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not speculations I like. And maybe they're not speculations that make sense.
Okay.
So, as we know, there was kind of rumors sifting about. First, it was Adam is going to the main roster, and they're going to do something with Undisputed Era to ultimately break them up. And then it was Adam and Kyle are turning face, and it might break up Undisputed Era because Roddy and Bobby are still heels. I'm wondering if we're still going to be hurt by this. In that, I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, the only person who wasn't attacked was Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle inexplicably decided, no, I'm not even going to try to fight for the fucking tag team titles for Undisputed Era because all of my guys got injured. Even though Oney and Danny both said, we can help you. Why would they have offered to help if there wasn't something going on in the background? I'm wondering if Kyle's kind of in on this because, like, the last time Kyle, like, acted pissy about Undisputed Era and the way they acted was during a Roddy-Bobby tag team match where a Bobby-Kyle tag team match where Roddy and Bobby started, like, acting like assholes to the other team. I'm wondering if, like, this was his own way of being like, this is how I step away from them.
I don't think so. I think the reason Oney and Danny offered to help was just because they wanted to help, and they're good people. I think. Hold on, let me finish. I think the reason they were so buddy with Pat McAfee in the ring was just because I don't think they knew Pat McAfee was going to help. I think they saw this guy who did help them, stood in the ring, and said, hey, we won together, we all did it, thanks, dude. Like, I don't think there's anything really nefarious with Oney and Danny, but I do think this is a way to get them into a stable with Pat McAfee and bring Oney and Danny up from 205 Live into the main NXT roster.
I guess that makes sense. I still don't really understand. But, I mean, the thing is that the only reason why I think that Oney and Danny had to be in on it, which annoys me in and of itself, because Oney and Danny never seemed like the team that would, like, be conniving to get their way. Because, like, Danny's whole thing has been, like, working hard, and, like, he's a hard-working British man, and he's just a little brawler.
Strong style Brit.
Yeah. Like, that doesn't really identify with conniving behind the scenes to get somebody in. The only reason why I think that they knew that this was happening is because why would Pat McAfee attack Fandango?
Because he wants to cause chaos. That's really like I've looked on articles and stuff, and they just say Pat McAfee comes in and causes chaos and just ensues trouble with Breezango.
I'm just very convinced that like this was Pat teaming up with Oney and Danny. I get a feeling that that's definitely what happened.
And this could also be like, hey, Undisputed Era, you guys could have won the title, but no, you didn't. Instead, Oney and Danny did.
The people that you fought alongside and beat to get to this point.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. It still makes me nervous. I still feel like it's weird that Kyle wasn't attacked. Because why would you attack? I mean, maybe I get.
He's a babyface.
I guess if he was in cahoots with Oney and Danny, in some respect, then it makes sense that he would attack Adam because Adam and Pat have beef, and it would make sense that he would attack the two tag team guys right now because Kyle's getting a singles push. Kyle's not really a threat to Pat,
mm-hmm.
and the tag team thing was on the line for Undisputed Era. I don't know.
I think what they're setting up for is Kyle versus Pat McAfee, and Kyle and Adam versus Oney and Danny.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like... It's just weird when there's rumors that somebody's splitting up and it never comes to fruition, and that's why I feel like I'm still just very much like...
But you also need to remember, like, the people at WWE also read the news, and they might say, okay, this is what people expect to happen. This is what is rumored, so maybe we should try and surprise people.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping.
Yeah. But that's our episode today. We have our best of the night to get to. And if you're new to the show, our best of the night are we pick the best promo, fighter, and fight of the night, or wrestler and wrestling match of the night, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, Liz takes 5 years to put up the sign.
Fuck you.
Alright, so, promo of the night. This one's tough, because there were a lot of good promos today. We started off with the Undisputed Era promo, which, the promo itself was just alright. It was just a shit-talking promo. But you have Adam Cole calling from a little tablet. You have Bobby Fish going, not knowing that you can read his audio. And then you have Bobby's, or Roddy's, at the end. But I mean, as far as the actual content goes, it was just a shit-talking promo. And then we had Bobby Fish dead on the ground, suffering.
Bobby wasn't dead. Bobby just hurt his body.
He suffered from a hernia. And then we had Xia Li and Casey interview, which everything's still so obscure and vague. I don't get it. And then we had the interview with Austin Theory, which is great because Austin Theory is quitting NXT. Maybe he's going to 205 Live. Just keep going down and down and down and down. And then we had the Gargano home promo, which was wonderful. I always love the home with the Garganos. Johnny being so mad at Wheels is like my favorite Halloween Havoc bit. And then we had Roddy dead. Which was the better of the Undisputed Era promos today, because you had Kyle kind of being a character. You had Oney and Dan. You had Oney talking, first of all. Oney and Danny being, characters. Tyler and Fandango acting like kind of serious for once. A little bit more emotion from these guys. And then after...
Also, sorry, I was just going to say, also a William Regal appearance that did not result in a triple threat, quadruple threat, gauntlet, who the fuck knows, even though a competitor was taken out of action. It was just William Regal saying, like, you guys then, I guess.
It's like after Pat McAfee appeared, William Regal comes out and says, "Oh no, looks like we're gonna have to take on Pat McAfee. Let's have a gauntlet with every member of NXT plus every member of Raw and SmackDown to see who faces Pat McAfee this Wednesday at Halloween Havoc. Also featuring all of the enhancement talent. And me."
No, William! Honestly, I'd pay to see that, actually.
And then Wade Barrett steps in and just...
like, me too!
As Pat McAfee's watching from the sidelines, Wade Barrett just smacks him in the face.
Wade's just dying to get in the ring again. He's like, I'll just attack anyone, I don't care.
But after that, we had the interview with Cameron Grimes, which was great because we had a scared-ass Cameron Grimes, a lurking Dexter Lumis. We got the tease for the Haunted House of Terrors, which I am super excited for. This I think is going to be the match I'm most excited for about Halloween Havoc. This is going to be great. I just loved everything about this interview. Cameron's great, Dexter's great. Mackenzie. And then after that, we had Tim Tam Thatch's unsanctioned matchy match, where he gave the special live murder time with Anthony Greene, aka Andrew Greene, aka Alex Greene, aka AAA. This was fun because like his student like stood up to him, but he also like didn't waver. He was still like pissed off and was like, all right, I see you. Let me destroy you right now with the ref this time. It was great. I loved everything about this. And then we had the Damian Priest montage vignette thing. But yeah,
I just want to make a comment that I didn't make when we were talking about it because I tune out just about anything pertaining to Damian Priest. My dude's like getting a tattoo while he's doing this promo, and he's like, "I don't feel pain," and I'm like, "You're getting a tattoo on your bicep, which is an incredibly meaty part of your fucking body because your biceps are goddamn jacked. Don't like look down at that tattoo artist like, I don't feel any pain." It's like, well, yeah, you fucking don't. It's not gonna hurt there on you. Your muscles are so far removed from your fucking bones. Unless you're getting your goddamn ribs tattooed, my dude, I don't want to hear it. It fucking drives me insane.
So yeah, that was lame. So, my pick for tonight's promo of the night is the Cameron Grimes interview.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. It's Dexter.
I'm torn. I know, I liked that, but I also really liked... I had two other favorites in addition to this one, which makes it really hard for me. Because I really liked the Johnny and Candace promo. Even though that was just them in their home. And those are always good, so I feel like that's a shoo-in.
The reason I didn't pick that was because that further teased the wheels, which we didn't get today.
Fair. I mean, my other thing is I really like the Kyle promo after Roddy died. Because that had a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of emotion, but I think I'll still go with the Cameron Grimes promo just because I did... Oh no, the cat's on the move. I'm watching you.
And she's down.
Pancake. Yeah. But yeah, I really like that. Plus Dexter Lumis. How can I not say yes to that?
Yeah.
I wonder if like he like when he's at home, in addition to his like training like normal, I wonder if he like just like practices his scary face in the mirror.
If he has kids, I wonder if he does like his scary face to his kids.
I cannot imagine Dexter Lumis's children.
Yeah,
I hope he
like
doesn't.
Robert Stone's best friend, probably not.
I really hope he doesn't, just because then that would humanize him, and I'm just gonna have to be like, oh, you're a person.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's why I don't like the fact that Randy Orton has kids.
that's fair. I mean, that's how I feel with like a couple different wrestlers, especially oh God, who is it? I mean, that's how I feel about Bobby sometimes, where I'm like, you have children, like actual human children.
Bobby Lashley?
Does Bobby Lashley have children?
I have no idea. I assume he does. I don't know.
I meant Bobby Fish.
It's weird to think Xavier has kids too, because he feels so young at heart.
He's got a lot of kids, I think.
Does he?
If I'm not mistaken, he's got a handful of children.
Hmm.
I could also be totally wrong and mistaking something else that I heard.
Does Tyler Breeze have a kid?
No, Tyler Breeze does not have children.
Okay, because they didn't up down.
Nobody besides Xavier has children
Well,
in that group.
okay, because I was thinking Kofi. Kofi has kids. Big E doesn't though.
If he gets bored enough after retiring, he might, as he said.
But Down Down did a video for the Mario Kart Live, where you like place the goals and everything and drive the car in real life. It's like augmented reality. I love how they went to Breeze's house, definitely because he doesn't have kids.
Yep. Also because Xavier's computer doesn't actually work anymore, so.
Doesn't?
They probably had to. Well, I mean, we haven't gotten Battle of the Brands in a hot minute, and every time that they do any play, like Let's Plays, it is almost always from Breeze, Cesaro's, or Adam Cole's computer.
Gotcha. But with that said, now that we've talked about Up, Down, Down for a bit, let's go do Fighter of the Night. And this one,
Woo!
This one I'm disappointed about. This and Fight of the Night I'm disappointed. And you'll see why. So we start off with Kushida versus Dream versus Ciampa. I really liked this match. I liked Ciampa and Kushida a lot. I think they worked off of each other really well, and their kind of bullying of Dream was even better. It was hard to decide between these two, but I think I'll go with Kushida for this match, just because he looked like a monster today. He looked amazing, and I love how Kushida just gets better and better and better with every single fight. The way they're pushing Kushida and Shotzi in kind of like a similar way, it's great. I love it. They're both so talented. Kushida, I love how we're seeing more of him now. I'm hoping they push him even further past Tommaso Ciampa. And then we have Jessi Kamea versus Ember Moon. I guess Ember Moon, I don't know, this one was tough just because this was kind of an enhancement talent match where she kind of got her ass kicked. It was weird. And then we had Theory. What?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Can I just say, if there's one thing that NXT has at least been doing really well, it's the enhancement talent matches. Because like we've had a couple of them now where it's like, okay, I've seen this person, especially like Leon Ruff,
Mm-hmm.
where we're like, we've seen him before. We've seen him get his ass kicked by fucking Sheamus. And like, he actually had like fucking moves.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they've been doing a pretty decent job of like at least marketing these people as like not just like these wimps that they throw into a ring to fight. Like it's not like, I don't know, in like, it's a horrible example, but in certain types of animal fighting, they'll throw in like a weaker animal. Like, okay, not animal fighting, sorry. Horse racing. In horse racing, I think this is something I learned from the league, but they'll put in another horse to kind of get like the racing horse all riled up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just to make him look good, not only to others, but to himself.
Okay.
And it's like, that's what we get a lot on Raw and SmackDown. But at least NXT, it's like, here's this guy, besides Tony Nese, here's this guy that you've seen almost always get his ass kicked. And at least it's not like a complete squash. Like, it's a shorter match, but it's still, like, we saw Leon Ruff, like, do shit.
Mm-hmm.
We've never seen that before. And I kind of appreciate that. Because
Yeah.
I go into these enhancement talent matches and I'm like, I'm not actually expecting this person to get completely squashed.
Right. But if it's like, if it's against Sheamus, then I can 100% expect like Sheamus to just stomp, or Timothy Thatcher to just stomp enhancement talent. Sometimes that kind of, those kind of matches work.
Yeah.
But Ember did not look great today. Neither did Jessi. I think this was kind of a rough match for both of them. But then we had Austin Theory versus Bronson twice, and both times Bronson looked great. I am so coming around to Bronson. He's been improving his fighting style so much, and his booking has only been helping him even more. After that, we had Legado del Fantasma versus Adonis, or Ashante Adonis, Swerve, and Jake Atlas. This match was kind of lame, but Jake Atlas did look great. He had a lot of great moments. To the point where, even though I wasn't really paying attention to this match, I would notice, like, I would really notice Jake Atlas do some crazy shit. So the man really has talent, and he spices up his moves in a way that makes it believable and natural rather than just flashy for the sake of flashy. But I think he's still missing something that a lot of other wrestlers have. Like, for example, Kushida, or like the elites of NXT. But after that, we had Everrise versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dain. Killian Dain looked good. He looked better than he did last time. But it's Killian Dain. His style isn't necessarily impressive. It's not flashy in any way. It's, I throw you on the ground, I smash you, I fall on you, shit like that. But he did spice it up a little bit more today, which I really liked. And his character came off a lot more. And I'm super excited for this tag team to really, really get their stride. And then after that, we had Xia Li versus Kacy. And I'll go with Kacy. Kacy didn't look amazing. She looked awkward today. She looked really awkward. She had like a solid 30 seconds where she was just slapping Xia in the stomach like 50 times. It was really weird. She wasn't her normal Kacy today. And then we had Timothy Thatcher versus Anthony Greene. And Timothy Thatcher. Tim Tam. And then we had
Thatcher, arms and muscles ready for the match.
There you go. And then we had Breezango versus Oni, Lorcan, and Danny Burch. I didn't write one down for this, just because I had to update the spreadsheet. But I'll go with Oni for this match. Oni did look great. But I don't think anybody looked really amazing in this match, you know? Nobody really stood out to where, like, some of the best wrestlers do. You know? Nobody had those amazing moments. Nobody was super flashy. Nobody really showed off their character. It was very much just wrestling. You know? So with all that said, I think there's only one choice here. And my pick for Fighter of the Night is Kushida. So?
Oh, man. I mean, for me, it's between Kushida and Mm.
What's the vibe?
It's hard. Um, but honestly, I feel like it's between Kushida and Fandango for me.
Fandango.
I really liked how he looked tonight, and I think I like how he looks a lot, but a lot of the matches that Breezango's had lately have been just a little disjointed. Um, and tonight was one of the first nights in a while where we got to see Fandango versus somebody that was, in this match, for the most part, playing fair. Like when they were fighting Wild and Mendoza, it was like, well, whatever. I really liked how he looked, even if he didn't get his finisher out. I thought he looked like he really had control over his body tonight. I thought that he looked like he was very in sync with Tyler Breeze as well. And especially in the beginning of the match, he was on his shit, especially when Oney tossed Fandango forward and Fandango immediately followed through by getting Oney into a headlock. It was just so fluid. I think tonight was one of those nights where I watched him and I was like, oh yeah, you've been here for a while. Like, you've been wrestling for a very long time. And I really enjoy seeing that. I enjoy seeing
I don't know.
veterans of it, you know.
But I just think because he is a veteran and we know what his ceiling is like, I feel like he didn't really compare at all today. Not because of him, but because he didn't get the spotlight in the match that he would need to shine as much as he normally does. I think we saw him much less than we should have. I think the focus was mainly on Breeze for this.
Breeze wasn't in that much though.
When I think back, I really only remember Breeze in. I don't really remember Fandango in at all.
Well, as I look at my notes, Breeze wasn't in that much.
Well, I'm still gonna stick by Kushida.
You know, I'll go with Kushida.
Okay. Glad you see it my way.
Well, okay.
Even though I know it's just obligation.
I mean, you give in to me a lot, so I figured I'll give you this one.
Alright, so, fight of the night. And I don't think there's any I think this is undisputed. Although every match kind of has their highlights. We start off with Kushida versus Dream versus Ciampa. Really great match. Really, really great match. That was like the best way to start off the night. Everyone was looking great, whether they're looking great by being great or looking great by being awful. This match really had it all, both in terms of great fighting and great story progress. I think the moving forward of Kushida and Tommaso's storyline is really comes off here. The kind of shoving aside Dream also shows. I loved this fight so much. It was so good. And then we had Jessi Kamea versus Ember Moon. A fight where nobody really looked amazing. A better enhancement talent fight. But I think knowing that Ember Moon is a veteran and coming down from the main roster, I think she deserved a little better than this. At the very least, she should have seemed a little more dominant than she did. Especially since she was like mocked in the middle of the match too. Like Jessi Kamea made fun of her and stuff like that. I think Ember deserved a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had both matches between Austin Theory and Bronson Reed. I think this was just hilarious. Bronson was amazing, and especially that Samoan drop at the end of the second match. It was great pummeling of Austin Theory, and knowing where this went after that match just makes it even sweeter. And then we had Legado versus Adonis, Swerve, and Atlas. I don't care about this scene. I don't care about the cruiserweight scene. This is lame. It's boring. I'm tired of Legado. I'm tired of Swerve. I haven't been given enough to care about Ashante Adonis, and I want better for Jake. Jake Atlas needs either better gear, a better walkout. I'm glad he removed the jacket, though. The jacket was something that clashed completely.
I'm sad because I like the jacket, but the jacket definitely did not work with anything else.
Yeah. It was a step in the right direction. But I mean, this match had some good moments. It had fun stuff in it, but I feel like the story went absolutely nowhere. I don't know. I feel like this match could have just not happened, and the way it started was weird. How Legado just all ran out of the ring and we're like, heh heh, big brain, we ran out of the ring, we're cowards, big brain. It's lame. I'm tired. Keep this to 205 Live, honestly. And after that, we had Everrise versus Drake and Killian. Although I hate Everrise, Drake and Killian's progress in every week just gets better and better. Drake coming in with the chair was awesome. It was unexpected. I loved it. Killian's reactions to everything were wonderful. And you watch these matches for their evolution, and I think that's great. But Everrise is still annoying as fuck. I can't stand them. It's not even like Chase Parker's fine. Matt Martell though is so annoying.
Pony Rise.
Yeah, Pony Rise.
Can't stand him.
And we had Xia versus Kacy, which wasn't a very good match in general. Not only in the fighting, but also, what is the story? What is the story? Like, even NXT tweeted like how Xia Li needs this match so much, and then 30 minutes ago, Xia Li responded to it and said, "I do need it." It's like, the match is over. What are you talking about? The match is done.
Why?
The match has been over for like a couple hours now. Like, oh god. And then we had Timothy Thatcher versus Anthony Greene, which was the pummeling that we needed, the pummeling that was deserved, the pummeling that made sense. But it was a squash. It wasn't a whole lot. But we do see a little progress in the Tim Tam Thatchy Thatch storyline, and that's that his students are kind of getting fed up. And then we had Breezango versus Oni Boni Bananagram and Danny Banani.
Danny Banani.
Danny Banani. Which was a good match. I didn't love how it ended. I mean, Oni and Danny winning was definitely unexpected. But Pat McAfee being the one to help out, I don't think this was the right time to reveal it. To reveal that was Pat. I think he should have like helped out and then ran away. It's weird. We'll have to wait to see what happens next week or the week after to really make judgments, because it's still very much in this is the grand reveal, and now wait for an explanation next week.
I do love the idea of Adam Cole, like the idea of his character sitting at home watching this whole thing happen and being like, damn it.
Or just Austin Jenkins sitting at home and be like, yay, my buddy Pat, he's on TV again.
I hate that they're actually friends. Like, that makes me mad.
But it
I
makes
want them
sense.
to hate each other as much as they hate each other.
It makes sense, though. Like, if you're gonna shit talk somebody on TV, you gotta make it your friend.
True, but I hate Pat McAfee now, so what do?
I'm excited. After his match at TakeOver, he really proved himself as a wrestler.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about him.
I'm hoping we get a match between him and Kyle. That would be fun. But back to this match. It was good. It was good. I feel like having a title lost in the way it was, though, was a little sketch. But yeah, it is weird. But with that said, my pick for fight of the night is undisputed. It is no contest at all. It's Kushida versus Dream versus Ciampa. It was 100% the best match today.
Interesting that you're not. I don't agree in the slightest.
Are you gonna pick Breezango versus Oni and Danny?
I am.
Why? Like,
because it was a better match. There was an actual story progression to a story that I've been waiting to hear more about for a while since TakeOver. We've been getting the Velveteen Dream Kushida Tommaso Dream shit for a little while now. And while I don't not like watching it, I really enjoy watching those fights. It was just a little bit clunky.
It was
a little difficult. Yeah, I thought it was a little clunky. I mean, it was a good match. It really was. I just thought that there were so many moments where, like, things just seemed to be a bit overshot. Things seemed to be a bit like,
if anything, I think the Breezango Oni Danny fight was clunky.
Oh, I didn't think it was clunky at all. I really liked it. Especially because, like, the whole point was that Breezango was not prepared to fight Oni and Danny.
But also, Oni and Danny weren't prepared to fight Breezango either, and I feel like this whole match was just a way to fuck Breezango out of their title.
Right. I don't disagree with that necessarily. It's just... this felt... my biggest problem with the Dream Tommaso Kushida fight was that it very much felt like it was like, we all have to get equal amounts of hits on each other. Because Tommaso was hitting Kushida, and then Tommaso was hitting Dream, and Dream was fighting Kushida, and then Dream super kicked Tommaso, and then Kushida was fighting Tommaso, and then he made sure to dive out onto Dream. It was like...
Well, actually, I know exactly what you're talking about with, like, the diving out onto Dream.
that was just one thing.
That was, you see, you're looking at one way. I see it as Ciampa was about to pin Kushida, saw Dream was coming in, and knew he was just going to dive on him, so he just tried to knock him out again. What happened?
Wow. I didn't mean to do that at all.
Someone's mad. I don't know. I think if you're gonna have, like, a last second challenger come in like this, I don't think they should win a title. This was... it feels very rushed.
Yeah, it's just it makes sense that they won the title, and I think it'll make more sense if it comes out that this was the plan all along, that like they were behind everything that's been happening lately.
But
And I
that
think there's still room for that to happen reasonably.
I feel like if it's Oney and Danny behind everything the whole time, it would feel so forced because that would be a complete 180 of who their characters are. Because at least Danny's whole thing was like being like a tried and true wrestler, you know, like working your ass off.
Right. Basically, for me, what it comes down to is I don't want to judge it on the hypothetical. I just know that I liked the tag team match a lot more than I liked this triple threat.
All right. Well, I will disagree, but we'll leave it up to the chat right now. Anybody in the chat?
You know, I gave in for you.
I gave in for you
Sorry,
like
okay.
7 times in the past. Like, in the past few weeks, I've been giving in to your disagreements.
No one asked you to.
And I didn't ask you to today. So, in the chat, help us figure out between for a fight of the night between Kushida, Ciampa, and Dream, or the NXT Tag Team Championship match between Breezango and Oni and Danny. Let us know what you think is the fight of the night in the chat. In the meantime, you want me to just talk about where everybody can find us before we close out?
Don't you only do that after I close out?
I know, but we should wait for the chat and.
Yeah, go for it.
So
Be my guest.
So if you're watching on Twitch, you can find us on YouTube, see all of our past podcasts, and see the rest of this podcast if you missed part of it. That is the Pinfall Podcast on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, join us for the live show, twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. Easy piece of cake. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, where we talk about a bunch of wrestling stuff, retweet a lot of news and funny stuff, our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. Remove the, and that's Twitter. And follow my personal Twitter at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And follow my Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Mark Cameron, where on Saturday I am challenging the UPF World Champion for the UPF World Championship title. You won't want to miss it. If you're a fan of Pokemon and you like competition, definitely watch. You will love it. This is brand new, never done before, never before seen. What's up?
Can we get Mark Cameron back on the show sometime? I miss him.
You want to see him for Hell in a Cell?
Maybe, yeah, that'd be cool.
You could see drunk Mark Cameron.
All right, yeah, I love Mark Cameron. I think he's a fun guy.
And he might be the UPF World Champion. I don't know. He might. I think he was threatened to throw the match, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, after last time, I'm not so sure if he's gonna be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, he's a loser. But we haven't gotten any response in chat. So, do you plan on?
No.
Okay, then I'll side with you. I'll go with Breezango.
You can always put it on the Twitter.
All right. We'll have Twitter resolve it, and we'll report back on Friday with who wins between Breezango and Oni and Danny, or Kushida versus Tommaso and Dream.
My phone is naked.
So, close this out, Elizabeth.
My phone is naked. Very stressful. All right. So, thank you for joining us tonight. If you joined us tonight, thank you. And if you joined us in the future, thank you. I know what's scary is that come Monday Night Raw in 2 weeks, we'll be podcasting the day before the election. So when I say, if you're joining us in the future, hopefully things are okay. Yeah, Because Monday Night Raw, then there's Tuesday night election night, and then there's Wednesday, maybe I'm dead.
That's in 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks. Yep.
Okay.
Not next week, because then there's the weird last week of October that I always forget about.
Halloween.
So. Maybe an asteroid will hit the Earth before then. I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
But if you're joining us in the future, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'll say it now. Hopefully things are better where you are. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Please join us on Friday. We are doing SmackDown predictions. Nice stuff, fun things, good times. Also...
Did you say SmackDown predictions?
I said SmackDown predictions.
Okay.
Comma. There's a comma in there. I believe our promo podcast is not until Monday Night Raw, the one right before the election night, I believe.
Yeah, it's the first of the month. So Monday Night Raw.
Cool. All right, but yeah, please join us on Friday. We will be talking about SmackDown. It'll be a great cap to your evening, I guess. Yeah. To your week. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us if you did, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll come back. We miss and love everyone that comes to our show.
If you enjoyed, please hit that follow button, follow the stream, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. Let us know what you loved or what we can do better. If you're watching on Twitch, we have a suggestion box down below that you can leave your feedback in. We always want to improve the show, so let us know what you think we could be doing better. All right. Have a great...
The only thing that will not be accepted is less cat. She refuses to leave.
I don't know. I think we can do something about that.
Yo, Pete, get out of here. Nothing. Stone cold. It's a stone cold fox right there.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Friday.